Hey, welcome to Technology Paul. Today we're going over the Skullcandy Crusher 1080 ANC. We're taking a close look at this one because it's a brand new headset from Skullcandy. And they're marketing it as one of the most premium headphones they've ever made. And this time, Skullcandy did something they've never done before. They've partnered with Bose to provide sound engineering and combined it with their own proprietary Crusher experience. So the big question we're answering today is simple. Does that combination actually make these good headphones? Or is it just marketing they can put on a box? So here's what the Bose partnership actually covers. Bose brought their QuietControl adaptive noise canceling, a special technology that adjusts in real time using 6 microphones. They brought TrueSpatial audio with head tracking and their waveform engine, which handles the overall sound tuning as well as speech clarity for clearer calls. That's 4 different pieces of Bose tech baked into one Skullcandy headphone. And we're going to dig into every single one of them and see if they actually hold up. But that's not everything that makes these interesting, because underneath all that Bose tech, you've still got the signature Crusher experience, the dedicated bass drivers in each ear cup, and that Crusher wheel that let you physically feel your music, not just hear it. There's a lot going on with these headphones, so let's dig in. Right out of the box, the thing that actually caught my attention first wasn't the headphones themselves, it was the case. Skullcandy included this roll-top bag instead of a standard hard shell, and it's actually designed to clip onto a backpack or a bag, which is a nice touch you don't see from a lot of headphone manufacturers. And once you actually get the headphones out of the bag, the build itself is more understated than I expected. It's mostly a matte plastic exterior with faux leather accents, and the real metal you'll find is in the headband, a notched metal band that lets you dial in the right fit. They come in a few finishes, including black, candy, primer, and cement. And even with that plastic body, these come in noticeably heavier than a lot of the more compact competitors out there. As for physical controls, there's a 5-way joystick on the ear cup that handles your volume, playback, and calls, and a dedicated power button, and a custom button that also doubles as a switch. You can toggle it up or down to move between ANC mode, ANC off, and stay aware, which is their pass-through mode. And you can also assign it to other functions through the app. And then, of course, there's the Crusher wheel, which, as we mentioned, is dialing in your haptic bass intensity right on the fly. No app required. Let's talk about the active noise cancellation, since that's the headline Bose feature here, the QuietControl adaptive noise canceling. I put it through a pretty real-world test at home when my son was watching The Wild Robot, and the TV was genuinely loud, and I was sitting right next to him on the couch. With the ANC switched on and no music playing, I could still catch a bit of dialogue here and there, but only the louder parts. Most of it just gets drowned out, and the moment I actually played some music through them, that TV noise disappeared completely. For a real-world test like that, that's a seriously impressive performance. But honestly, the mode I find myself reaching for most isn't ANC at all. It's stay aware, their pass-through mode. It just feels like a more natural way to listen. You get great quality audio without that plugged up feeling in your ears. And I like that my family can still talk to me. If I pause my music, I can hear them immediately without having to fumble around turning ANC off first. So most of the time, I'm happy just leaving it on stay aware, but it's nice knowing the ANC is there when I actually need it. Now let's talk about the Bose speech clarity, the tech behind how these headphones pick up your voice on calls. I tested this using the Voice Memos app on my Mac, switching the input source between the Crusher's 1080's microphones and my MacBook Pro's built-in mic, recording the same lines both ways. The headphones actually came through louder at the same playback volume. My voice had more volume recorded through the headphones than through the laptop. But when it comes to how true my voice sounded, how close it was to what I actually sound like, the MacBook Pro mic had the edge. There was just more depth and realness to it. The headphones weren't bad by any means, they just didn't quite capture that same depth. And honestly, that tracks. The laptop mic has the advantage of me speaking directly into it, while the headphones are relying on a 6 microphone array to pick up my voice from the side, off axis, which is a much harder job. So overall, speech clarity is perfectly respectable, but it's not quite at the level of a good built-in laptop microphone, which is still a solid bar to measure against. One feature that's actually new here compared to other Skullcandy headphones I've tried is that Bose TrueSpatial gives you 2 distinct modes, motion and still. And I put both of them to the test. Motion mode is built for when you're actually up and moving around, and I tested it watching a TV show on my laptop while doing things like folding laundry and just walking around the room. And it worked great. You get this enhanced immersive sound experience without the audio feeling like it's sliding around as you move. Still mode is more like the spatial audio experience I've tried before, where the sound gets anchored into one fixed zone. It's not meant for walking around. In fact, moving around actually ruins the effect. But it's not supposed to be used that way. It's built for subtle head movements, sitting or standing in one spot, and continuing to feed you that spatial audio experience as you turn your head slightly. Both modes worked exactly as intended for me, and I respect that Skullcandy built in 2 distinct settings for 2 genuinely different use cases. As for overall sound quality, it's really good. Definitely suitable for a premium headphone, and it lives up to the Bose name. You've also got equalizer options to shape that sound to your liking. Right on the ear cup, there's a button that lets you cycle between built-in EQ presets for music, podcast, movie, and custom. And that custom option is where the app comes in, letting you dial in your own levels across low, mid, mid-high, and high frequencies. So really, you can find the exact sound signature that works best for you. Now let's get into the crusher wheel and that signature crusher bass experience. This sits completely outside your EQ settings. It's a dedicated dial for those haptic bass drivers in your ear cup, letting you crank them up independently of everything else. I put it through its paces with some EDM, since that genre tends to be pretty bass heavy. And honestly, it held up really well. It's not overbearing, and that's actually a nice surprise. When I tested the Crusher Player 720, the gaming headset, cranking that haptic bass to 100% was way too much, almost bone rattling. These are tuned differently. At 100%, you can absolutely tell there's a ton of bass. And some already bass-heavy tracks can start to sound a little distorted, but it's nowhere near that skull-rattling extreme. So they've clearly tuned this to deliver a genuinely bass-heavy experience without going completely overboard. Now let's shift gears away from sound quality and into a couple of other features, starting with wear detection. This one works exactly as advertised. Take the headphones off and set them down, and your music or movie reliably pauses. No complaints there. But here's the catch. If you just partially lift one ear cup off, say to quickly talk to someone who's come up to you, it still pauses the audio. And honestly, it's not always what you want. If it's just a quick exchange, someone asks you a question, you answer, and the ear cup goes right back on, having the music stop and restart every time actually feels more disruptive to your flow than the interruption itself. So I ended up turning that feature off entirely. I don't live alone. I've got a family that talks to me throughout the day, and I'm frequently popping an ear cup off for a few seconds. Unless you're deep into an audiobook where catching every word matters, staying in the flow of your music is honestly more important than pausing at the exact right moment. So bottom line, wear detection works exactly as intended. It's just not for me. Now, battery life. I'll be upfront. I didn't run these all the way down to 0 before putting together this review. And honestly, I haven't even burned through 50% yet. You can track your exact percentage right in the app. But from what I've seen, battery life looks really good. Skullcandy rates these at 60 hours with ANC off. And since I mentioned earlier that I actually prefer using Stay Aware over ANC most of the time, that works out nicely for me. I'm probably going to see even better battery life than the average user just because I'm relying on ANC less. As for the rapid charge claim, I didn't put that through a formal test, but I'm inclined to take Skullcandy at their word here. That kind of fast charging is pretty achievable with USB-C these days. And anecdotally, with other Skullcandy products I've owned, even a dead pair charged for just 10 to 15 minutes has always given me enough juice for whatever I needed next, whether that's a run or a podcast. So that's my take on battery life and charging. So let's bring this all together. The Bose partnership here genuinely feels like substance, not just a name slapped on the box. The QuietControl ANC delivered a seriously impressive real-world test. Speech clarity is respectable, even if it doesn't quite match a good laptop mic. TrueSpatial gives you two genuinely useful modes in motion and still. And the crusher bass is tuned sensibly, so you get that signature haptic feel without it going overboard. Battery life looks strong, wear detection is solid even if it wasn't the right fit for my day-to-day, and I appreciated having full custom EQ control on top of all of it. And then there's the price. At $279, the Crusher 1080 ANC undercuts the true flagship tier by a wide margin. Bose's own Quiet Comfort Ultra runs $449, and Sony's WH-1000XM6 is right around that same mark, with Apple's AirPods Max sitting even higher. So you're getting genuine Bose technology inside a headphone that costs meaningfully less than the flagships it's borrowing from. I also want to touch on comfort, since these are noticeably heavier than headphones I've worn before, but Skullcandy has clearly put real thought into the cushion, because that extra weight never translated into discomfort for me. I've had no problem wearing these for a couple of hours at a time. So to answer the question we opened with, is this Bose partnership real or just marketing on the box? I'd say it's the real deal. These are a genuinely premium pair of headphones, and Skullcandy backed that up with a great price to match. If you're a subscriber to my channel, you might consider supporting my work further by becoming a channel member for just $2.99 per month. As a member, you get priority replies to your comments, 24-hour early access to new videos, and loyalty badges. Plus, it goes a long way to supporting my ability to make content. And I want to thank my current members. It means a lot to have you along for the journey. But if you're new to my channel, perhaps you'll consider subscribing, which is free. I post more content all the time, so make sure you don't miss out. Thanks as always, and have a good one. See you in the next video.